What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back. Like I never left this mother. Yes, Sirski. All right. So, man, you guys. Now, we got Floyd Mayweather loses 175 million smackaroozles. Don't ask me why I said smackaroozles. I just made it up on the fly. All right. But don't steal my word. Smackaroozles. I like that. Got a little, whatever. All right. So anyway, make a long story short, you guys. His ex-prosecutor weighs in and said, well, he's telling us exactly what happened between Floyd and one of his accountant managers or something like that. Somebody close to Floyd had robbed him for 175 million. Now, I've heard the story, but I'm covering it because I just found this on the News Nation channel. So we're going to check it out. Hopefully give us a lot more details.
Floyd Mayweather's attorney says the gloves are off after the superstar boxer allegedly lost $175 million to his former money manager. In a lawsuit that was filed Friday, the five-division champ claimed that disgraced New York power broker Jonah Rechetz defrauded him of the cash when Rechetz was working as the boxer's investment portfolio manager. In the complaint, which lays out claims like fraud and breach of fiduciary duty, Mayweather, who has earned a reported $1 billion over the course of his career, said that Rechetz began, to gain his trust in 2017, and by 2024, he was the champ's de facto investment manager. But what Mayweather says he didn't know was that the same year he met Rechetz, his new money guru had testified in a New York City police corruption scandal about bribing city officials and former Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Wow, bro. Come on now, Floyd, bro. It's this thing called background check. Whenever you're going to hire somebody to handle these amounts of money, you didn't know to do a freaking background check, Floyd. Hey, yo, how they say it? Shame, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Dang, Floyd, you should do a background check, my boy.
Received immunity for his testimony, which he said he bought favors from de Blasio for $100,000 campaign donation and chaperoned high-ranking New York cops as they partied with a prostitute on a flight to Las Vegas. There were no charges that were brought against the former mayor, by the way. But now, Mayweather's attorneys allege that Rechetz's bad behavior continued when he redirected the boxer's assets to First Apex Ventures, this Florida real estate and investment firm that was managed by A.O. Frist, who's also a defendant. And according to the suit, $15 million from a realty settlement were transferred into Apex's accounts without Mayweather's permission. The boxer allegedly wired another $7.5 million to Apex when Rechetz told him it was for an investment opportunity. Take a wild guess about what Mayweather claims happened to that cash. But the bulk of the alleged fraud involved Mayweather's physical assets, like a deal where he allegedly transferred ownership of Mayweather's Gulfstream jet, but the buyer section was left blank.
Whoa.
So that cash is apparently missing too. Or what about this? $100 million worth of Mayweather's bling was allegedly handed over to a pair of Miami jewelers in exchange for just $13 million. The suit claims that it was Rechetz and not Mayweather who received all that money, and the bulk of the boxer's jewelry remains in Miami. So,
whoa, this is bad. I didn't know it was this bad. Mayweather, bro. That goes to, bro, you know what? I about to say, how can you lose that amount of money? But it happened to MC Hammer. It happened to Mike Tyson, and the list goes on and on. Now it's Mayweather's turn, bro. Bro, once you be a star for so long, and then once your career has took a turn, and the new stars are coming up, the higher ups don't want to even deal with you anymore, bro. That you wash. You didn't have your spotlight, man.
Mayweather is seeking a full accounting, a return of the $175 million.
That's why he's doing them Chinese boxing matches. He be going to fight little 14-year-old Chinese boys over there in China. Dog, I'm like, bro, that's sad right there. You shouldn't go out like that now. That tells me you do anything for some money. A little 13, 14. Nah, they ain't 13, 14, but what I'm saying, though, that just look bad on Mayweather.
To punitive damages, punishment damages from the suit, which, by the way, Rechetz's attorneys call, quote, utterly baseless. But look, Mayweather is undefeated in the boxing ring. Can that streak continue in court? I'll tell you who's going to answer it right now. The president of West Coast Trial Lawyers and former federal prosecutor, Nima Rahmani. Nima, always so happy to see you.
Nima Rahmani.
Great to see you. Is this a straightforward money case? You got the documents. Hey, I gave you this much money. I don't know where it is. I gave you this much money. You didn't invest it. Is this straightforward for Mayweather?
Jesse, I don't think so, because they don't have your traditional agreement that you would have with your financial advisor. That's why they say it's the de facto arrangement. Now, of course, you don't necessarily need a written document to pursue a breach of contract case. You can do it based on the conduct
What
of the
about
party.
breach of fiduciary duty? Can you still do it even?
Yeah, the relationship between the parties. That's the other way you get there, right? That's why you start getting those things like we learned in law school, just the constructive trust, right? So based on the relationship, and that's why you see all this posturing, not just in the complaint itself, but the statements of the lawyers, right? The defense is, of course, going to say that Mayweather is a sophisticated fellow, even someone who's reckless, placing these huge bets, gambling, going to
Well, let me tell you what his Retch's attorney said. His claims against our client, meaning Mayweather's claims against our client, are utterly baseless and refuted by substantial documentary evidence, including Mr. Mayweather's own correspondence, Mr. Mayweather's gambling issues, prolific spending habits, monies owed to third-party creditors, and IRS tax liens and levies, as well as other unseemly behavior will be exposed, and we believe that Mr. Mayweather will be the one paying significant damages to our clients. I mean, what does that suggest? What does that mean to you? They suggest happened, and I guess the other question is, if he's stealing all this money, allegedly stealing all this money, how did Mayweather not notice?
Well, yeah, that's the defense, right? That this is someone who's sophisticated, someone who spends a lot of money. I think the most important part, some of it, again, is just kind of the PR spin, but really it's the correspondence, right? Are there text messages? Are there emails? Is there something in writing between these two? That's going to be the most important, the most dispositive. After that, of course, any independent witnesses that are going to come and testify as to the nature of these transactions. But some of this is just to dirty one another up, because obviously a case like this, anything involving Floyd Mayweather, for that matter, is going to get a lot of attention, right? I mean, Mayweather is someone who is still very well known on social media, right? He's courtside at basketball games like we're watching. I mean, he's everywhere, and he's talking about everything. So a case like this, let's see if it goes all the way to trial, is going to be played out in the court of public opinion as well, and we're already starting to see that.
Does any chance he gets the money back or any of his jewelry back?
It's possible. It's also possible there's a criminal prosecution, right? We saw it recently. There was a big fraud case involving one of the richest men in Mexico, Ricardo Salinas, and prosecutors there in New York ended up picking up that case for criminal prosecution. Obviously, the question is, how much money does Retch's have? Even if you get a 9-figure judgment, right, in the hundreds of millions of dollars, obviously it's just a paper judgment unless there's an ability to enforce. Right. So question is, getting that judgment is step one. Getting paid on it is a whole nother thing altogether. You got to start garnishing wages, levying bank accounts, attaching real property. That's what those judgment enforcement lawyers are really good at doing.
15 seconds. Is this common? I feel like I've seen a lot of celebrities suing their manager saying you stole my money.
Yeah, it's very common.
Very,
right?
very
common, bro. Sports world, you have these, hanger-ons, entourages that really take advantage of athletes. I'm not necessarily what happened here, but it's certainly a common story you hear a lot of folks talking about.
All right, Nima Rahmani, always with the great advice. We love having Nima. Nima, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Man, Floyd Mayweather, it's over for you, my boy. It is over for you. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be 100% totally broke. But you're going to take a nice little hit compared to all these things that they're naming on here that you could allegedly owe. Especially like people steal it, bro. I think they're trying to make Floyd go down, bro. Saying what they did he? Man, they script the black man naked. They get a black man, bro, this glamours and this glitz. The next thing you know, they script him naked. No matter how much money they got, bro. They'll never get so high in this world of fame, bro. That's crazy.